This is activity 6.2 on page 150, adding images to a document. The files we'll be working with: Building with Heart PNG file, BWH Volunteers JPG file, and Carrying Plywood JPG file. These are all picture graphics. We have my fact sheet graphics document open. You will insert the organization's logo at the top of the fact sheet, formatting the logo so that it's on a line by itself. You will also add two photos to provide more visual interest. Number 1, insert the logo. We're going to press Control Home to bring our cursor to the very beginning of the document. You can turn off your Show Hide button if you have it activated. We're going to go up to our Inserts tab, and in the Illustrations group, we're going to select Pictures. And this opens up our Insert Picture dialog box. We want to navigate to our home drive. This PC. Open up the home drive, Word Part 1. And again, Lesson 6 is titled Inserting Graphic Objects. And we want to select the Building with Heart graphic. Select it and click Insert. The image is placed at the insertion point. It is formatted in line with the paragraph text. In other words, the paragraph text begins at the right end of the image, continuing in the same line. So you can see the image is on the same first line as the text. We want to format the image to appear on a line by itself. So with our graphics still selected, we're going to go up to our Picture Tools Format Contextual tab, and in our Arrange group, we're going to select the Position drop-down, and this opens up our gallery. Various quick layout options are shown. Each option shows how the text and image will be arranged if you select that option. So you can actually hover over for that live preview without even selecting them of how they will look in the document. We're going to go down and select More Layout Options, which opens up our Layout dialog box. We're going to go up to the Text Wrapping tab, and the wrapping style that we're going to apply is top and bottom. This option will put the image on its own line with text wrapping above or below it. Then at the bottom, in the Distance from Text group, we're going to change the bottom setting to 1/2 inch. This will provide a 1/2 inch of white space padding beneath the image. Now we can select OK. You can see that the image is not now on a line by itself, and it has also added that extra white space of a 1/2 inch between the image and the text. Number 3, insert an image after the first paragraph. Position the insertion point after the last sentence of the first paragraph as shown. So we want to put our cursor right after the period after mortgage. And here we're going to insert the BWH Volunteers picture. Go up to Insert, Illustrations group, and select Pictures. Select the BWH Volunteers graphic and click Insert. And the picture appears directly beneath the paragraph. You can see it's quite large in our document, so now we'll be resizing it. If you can't see the entire image, scroll and zoom out as needed to show the entire picture. So I'm just going to hit my minus sign on my zoom slider a few times here until I get some text above it, below it, and I can see the whole picture. You want to make sure your image is still selected. And you can tell it's selected because it has the sizing handles in all corners and on all sides. And it says to drag the lower right corner of the image up and to the left until the image is about 2 inches wide, and you can use your ruler, your horizontal ruler, to measure that. Doesn't have to be exact, so don't worry about that, but you want to use your bottom right sizing handle and just bring that up and to the left till you have it about 2 inches wide. So right about there. And now we're going to wrap text around the image. As you can see, we have a lot of white space to the right of that. With your image still selected, you're going to click on your Layout Options button in the top right-hand corner. If this button is not showing, that means you don't have your image selected. From here, in the With Text Wrapping section, we're going to choose the Square option. After you select that, you can close out of your Layout Options box. And you can see how the text now wraps around your image. With square text wrapping applied, the text wraps around the image as expected. Now you will move the image in line with the first paragraph. Number 6, move the image into the text area of the first paragraph. So I'm going to just scroll up a little bit so I can see my first paragraph. You want to make sure your image is still selected by clicking on it. And we're going to drag the image in line with the top right corner of the first paragraph as shown in your textbook. So I'm just going to click and drag my image, and you can see as I'm moving it, the text is wrapping around it. So I'm going to leave that one sentence wrapping along the bottom of it. Number 7, adjust the image size until you're pleased with the result. Make sure the image is still selected. Drag the lower left corner of the image to resize it. As you resize the image, text will wrap automatically to adjust. So I kind of like how my image is resized, but just to show you, as I make it larger and smaller, that text is still going to wrap around it. Number 8, insert an image in a table. Scroll to find the Who Can Volunteer table on page 2, which is located right here. It's just a 2-cell table. You might not even realize it's a table just by looking at it, but if I click into this, I get my Table Tools, Design, and Layout contextual tabs. So it's just 2 very large cells. Some of the text from this section is now in a table. One of the cells is empty. You will place an image in this empty cell. So I'm going to click into this empty cell and put my insertion point, and I'm going to insert the picture carrying plywood. Go up to my Insert tab and select Pictures. Make sure I'm in my Inserting Graphic Objects folder, and here select Carrying Plywood and Insert. The picture appears in the cell, but the table layout has become a bit squished here. You can see that the image is so large that that second cell, it just has the text overflowing from it. So we're going to resize our image. Examine the margins on the ruler. The page area minus the margins is about 6.5 inches wide. To make the image fill about half the page width, you can adjust it to 3 inches wide. So you make sure your image is selected. Go up to your Picture Tools Format Contextual tab. And just to make a note real quick, I inserted a picture into a table. I have that picture selected. I'm still getting my Table Tools Contextual tabs as well. So I have 3 contextual tabs available to me right now. 1 for having my picture selected, and 2, the Design and Layout, for having my cursor within my table. Just wanted to point that out to you. So on my Format Contextual tab, I'm going to go to my Size group, and I'm going to select the dialog box launcher. This opens up the layout dialog box onto the size tab. And we want to make sure that lock aspect ratio is checked off. That means when I increase or decrease the height of the picture, that the width is going to stay in proportion. So it's not going to look squished horizontally or vertically. All right, in the width section, we're going to change the absolute width to 3 inches. You can use your scroll arrows or you can type directly into the box. But you see, as I'm bringing it down, the height is staying in proportion and also decreasing. So my width of 3 inches is going to give me a height of 1.99 inches. I'm going to select OK from here. Now you can see I have a good size table here with the 2 cells. My text is no longer squished in that second cell. We're also going to crop the image. So with it still selected, I'm going to go back up to my Format Contextual tab in my size group, and I'm going to select my crop button. Selecting the crop button gives me these dark, what we call crop handles. We're going to drag the bottom center cropping control upward to crop about 1/3 of the image as shown. So as you're hovering over, make sure your cursor becomes a crop handle. Don't pick the resizing handle that looks like this. That's not going to crop the image. That's just going to resize it and squish it vertically. So with that crop handle, I'm going to bring that up, and we'll go to about the construction worker's belt. Next, we're going to drag the left center cropping control to the right until the volunteer worker is centered in the image. So here's our right cropping handle. Again, make sure you're selecting the cropping handle and not the resizing handle, and we'll bring it to about here. You can click anywhere outside of the image to crop that to our selection. And then we're going to drag the lower right selection handle until we're happy with the image size. So I'm going to bring it to fill up as much as that cell as I can. Next, number 11, we're going to remove the table's border. So we're going to select the table, our table selector, go up to our Home tab, and in our paragraph group, we're going to select our borders drop-down. From here, we're going to set this to no border. You could have also done that on your Table Tools Design Contextual tab from your border drop-down here. It will give you the same result. You can click anywhere outside of that, and now you can see we have a nice layout with our picture and our text, and just by the naked eye you can't even tell that that is a table. All right, we're going to save our document up on our quick access toolbar, and we can close out of this document.